Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our Spiritual Sojourn. Thank you for joining us today. Hello, Tom, my wonderful co-host.
Hello, Laurie.
Hi, glad you're here. And today we're going to be talking about gratitude.
We are going to be talking about gratitude.
Yeah,
We had
big
a
topic.
big topic and a difficult topic,
Can be.
and we're going to
Yes.
take a little different approach. Laurie and I had a really good conversation, kind of casual, and we're going to cut into snippets of that conversation because we captured some really good concepts, and they're very much authentic in the way we discussed and came about what we did. So we want to share that with you.
Yes, I think it'll be a really fun episode.
So with no other delay, we'll jump in. We're going to cut to a snippet of those discussions.
So, gratitude. Are you grateful, Tom?
Not naturally, I have to stop and be grateful.
I think I think I do too at times. I really have to be conscious of it. Why is that? Because gratitude to me is um, really important in terms of my spirituality and my belief system. And yet, for some reason, I get caught up in that ego thing of me, more, more, more. And I forget to look around and be grateful for all the wonderful gifts I already have.
I think it's a sense of being owed that sometimes I, in particular, think, well, I finally am here. This is what I worked for. Um, I don't necessarily overdo it on the gratitude when that happens. So I think I've worked for this. This is mine. And
Oh,
and so that's part of it. And the other thing is, um, the example that came to mind a minute ago is if you promise me we're going to Disneyland every day for 5 years, by the time we finally get there, it's not quite the same as if we would have gone 3 days in.
okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. You can only be excited about something for so long.
Right. And pretty soon after that, it becomes almost antagonistic. And I think people work on whatever it is that they're trying to build and create and manifest so long that they forget the gratitude at the end.
Right. And even during the process, for me, it feels like I'm really wired toward lack. And I think part of that might be how I was raised, but it's about always seeing the glass, at times half empty instead of half full,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and always looking for the lack of what I don't have as opposed to focusing on what I do have
Mhm.
in my life. And when I do that, when I can be in that place of gratitude, uh, the feeling is so different. I feel this spaciousness. I feel my heart open up. I feel this connection with source that I don't feel when I'm not in that space. And when I start really thinking about being grateful and what it is I have to be grateful for and start doing that list in my head or writing it down, I'm amazed at I have so freaking much to be grateful for. And I don't see that day to day if I'm not focused in that mindset of gratitude. It's very powerful. It shifts energy. And I think we were talking about abundance, and I think for me, it connects to abundance. And that when I'm grateful, then I have more of that abundance come to me without much effort because I'm living in that vibration of it's already here, I'm already grateful for, it's possible, and just being grateful for what I have somehow shifts the energy. I
Mhm.
don't know how it works, I just know that it does.
It's like cutting wrapping paper. Once you get going, if you're grateful about it, it just keeps going in a perfect straight line. Uh,
that's that's great. I love that.
and the other thing that came to my mind when you were speaking about all that is when when you're working for something and the disappointment shows up because it didn't happen, and the tolerance that you have and the endurance that you have to pull up to get through what happened instead, all those things wear on you to a point where the gratitude just isn't always what it needs to be when you finally arrive. When you heard, when you said um, that you concentrate on a lack sometimes, I think that's really common. I think we all do that. And I heard
Mhm.
Abraham Hicks yell at you when you said that. I
Sorry.
sorry, didn't mean it.
Hate when that happens.
I could just hear her yelling like, "Oh, well, that's, no, we don't need that." So I do think so. There's something about the disappointment and the struggle and the endurance and the resilience that it takes makes you lose gratitude.
And I'm sitting here wondering, does it have to though? If I stayed in that place of gratitude all the time and held that energy, that thought all the time that I'm grateful for whatever the outcome. One, I guess my question is, would it change whatever the outcome might be? Or would it not matter what the outcome is at that point? Because I would still be in that place of gratitude and it would be okay no matter what happened. Does that make sense?
Hmm. I see that as being like a really Zen master, like I'm watching an episode of Kung Fu. You know, he was just grateful all the time, no matter what happened.
Right.
But at the same time, remember that bit we talked about I'm constantly between fate has this in line for me and I can bring it about, or boy, I better get busy and start lifting weights and running if I'm going to lose weight or whatever it is. So we're back and forth between that. So it seems to me that when you don't do the kung fu thing and you come over here and you're more in your own self, you think you did it. And you think, I'm never going to get anything done unless I do this. And that's when you lose gratitude. You think you did it.
There is always that challenge for me of mind ego jumping in and wanting to be in charge and saying that somehow they can make all this everything happen that I need to have happen. And sometimes it works, mostly it doesn't. So the more I can stay in gratitude, the more I can quiet mind and ego for myself, then the more I can be in that place of allowing, which for me is what gratitude is about as well as allowing things to flow to me. And when I can stay in that place, it does. I'm in what I call the flow at that point. I can't always stay there,
Mhm.
which is crazy to me because it feels so much better when I'm in that space. I love that sense of openness and connectedness and that expansiveness. And when I have really focused on staying in that space, it feels wonderful. And yet maybe it's a function of humanness. My mind and ego will at some point jump in there and kicks me out in some way.
Mhm. So the mind and ego thing you're referencing, I feel that's kind of it. When you are when you're in gratitude, in my mind, in Tom's mind, when I'm in gratitude, I can't be tactical, and it's hard to be tactical and have gratitude come in there at the same time. You go back and forth, and maybe that's the basis of what I just said about fate versus God helps he who helps himself. So maybe that's speaking just for me. I have trouble when I'm up to my elbows in God helps he who helps himself, having gratitude. And I can't help myself. I can't avoid helping myself when nothing's happening over here. That's why we go back and forth. We manifest, nothing happens. We manifest, well, screw it, I'm going to do this myself. And then you can't be not gratuitous, but you can't have gratitude to the level you would have. That's me. I don't know
Mhm.
that that speaks for everyone. That's me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know for me, I really strive to be in that place of gratitude, having that connection, holding that space, and find myself slipping out and letting mind and ego step in there and then want to plan everything, want to make sure I've got, all these lists of things. It's mostly about doing something. And gratitude is about allowing, it's still doing what you need to do in some ways, but it's mostly about, for me at least, allowing things to flow, to come with me. Like there's that sense of divine timing. And for me, my ego jumps in and wants everything right now. It's like, no, no, it's got to be this moment right now on my schedule. And and that's hard for me. Then it kicks me out of that place of gratitude. When I can stay in that place of gratitude and trust, then I can allow that and know that there's divine timing. And then everything in my life does fall into place and does seem to flow. And why I can't stay in that all the time frustrates me. And I know it's a function of holding that place of consciousness all the time. And that's difficult. I think for humans, it's difficult. Unless you're one of those wonderful Zen masters who've accomplished all of that. And
Yeah.
clearly, I am not.
I don't really know anyone who is, except for Kung Fu on TV and when.
There may be those Buddhist monks that sit on the mountain all day and are like that, but I'm not one of them. Maybe, you know,
So do you, in the scenario you just laid out, when you're trying to stay in gratitude, do you ever hear the word no?
no.
And do you think that there are plenty of opportunities where you would, could, should hear the word no? You don't think so?
Be- because for me, when I'm in that space of gratitude, it's not about what I want necessarily, because want for me is an ego function, a mind function of, oh, I want this, this, and this. When I'm in that place of gratitude, it's I'm in that place of divine connection where what is highest and best good for me, show me that. I will be open to receiving whatever is highest and best good, which might not be what I think I want in the moment, but might be exactly what I need. And that's different. I experience that differently. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Still may be even better than what I want because my mind is limited into what I want. It's kind of like a little 2-year-old. I want, I want, I want. Where I can be in that expanded place of gratitude and acceptance and allowing and saying, okay, I'm open. I'll receive whatever is in my highest and best good, is always what's highest and best good for me. And it could be way better than what I think I want.
Mhm.
And has been. I mean, there's been lots of times when I have been incredibly grateful that I did not get what I want because it would not have been in my highest and best good.
I think in your situation you just talked about, the when you get started wanting something is where your ego kicks in. And that's the basis for all manifesting. You want something. And I can hear her saying that word over and over again. And we all have been in a place where you decided something was right for you. You did all the right things for manifestation. You didn't hear no. You went forward with it and you stayed with it for a long time until no just became the obvious answer. And you believed it with all your faith that it was going to happen because that's what you're told to do, but it still didn't happen. That starts out in my mind with ego, and you never hear the word no. That's when people give up. That's when people say, I can't do this anymore.
And to me, that's the place at which I would hope that I can move into that place of gratitude, expand my connection with Source, be open, and say, okay, I'm taking a deep breath here and I'm allowing that maybe this wasn't highest and best good for me. So, how can I be open now, stay in this place of gratitude, and allow whatever comes to me to come?
Yeah.
I think it's like what Kendara was saying. It's, yes, it starts with, okay, I want this, I desire this, putting that out there, letting it go. And what she said at the end was, you say, I really would like to have this or something better. and then stay in that place of gratitude. It's not like we worry about it. It's not like we keep working it, trying to force it to happen. It's about then opening, staying in that place of connection and gratitude and allowing whatever comes to come to us and accepting that that's what we manifested. And what I've discovered for myself is a lot of times it will come in ways or in a form that I hadn't expected. So I also have to pay attention and be open to however it happens to come.
In my opinion, that's a grad student level behavior.
But I think we all have to start somewhere, and part of that is practicing gratitude. And even for a moment, at the end of the day, sitting for a moment quietly and opening yourself up, opening your heart space, and thinking about or writing down. People talk about making lists or a gratitude journal and listing all the things today that you are grateful for. And sometimes I'm grateful because I'm still breathing. I'm grateful because I have a roof over my head in this moment. I'm grateful because I have water to drink. You start very basic, and sometimes that's all you've got to be grateful for, but it keeps you in that place of connection and gratitude for what is, as opposed to living in that place of what could be or what I want in the future. It's about staying present in the moment, staying in the now.
I think you're doing fine. You got a roof over your head, you got heat in the wintertime, you got food to eat. All right, let's get on with it. I knew I had that when I walked in.
But that's important. I think that's where we do have to start because lots and lots of people in this world, sadly, don't have those things.
Not don't have those things, and ego really says, I had those things for my whole life. Why am I concerned about that right now?
It's not about being concerned, it's about being grateful that we have them and that we still have them.
Yeah. But it's a
Yeah,
human construct. You just go, whatever, man, I've had that my whole life. Why do you want me to stop and think about that right now?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get it. And it is a human thing that we all do. That's why I can move so easily into lack and what I really ruminate on what I don't have instead of opening up and being really incredibly grateful for everything I do have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move forward in our discussion for the sake of brevity and for capturing the most we can fit into our time. So now we're going to move just a little bit forward into our conversation on gratitude. I think we're trying to talk about how important gratitude is, even when it's the last thing on your mind.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Hang on. Yes. You are both exactly right in that it is most important to stay in that space of gratitude at all times. And that requires being present in the now all the time, every moment of every day. We know this is a challenge for human beings. We appreciate that. And we encourage you to hold to that, make that a goal that you work toward every day of remembering to bring yourself back to the present moment and step into that place of gratitude. Live from that place of heart connection to the divine, to source, opening yourself to gratitude for everything around you, whether you define it as good, bad, or indifferent. It's opening and holding that place of gratefulness, which then also keeps you in the present moment, which in truth, that is all there is. So continue to hold that space, and each day strive to make that each moment longer and longer and staying in that place of gratitude. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Big
Yeah.
challenge, but it makes sense.
Mhm. It is a challenge because humans aren't wired that way. And more and more and more, everyone I'm talking with, every time I have a conversation, it always comes back to we have to stay present in the now. It's about always being in the now because that's all there is now, which might be another topic
Yeah. Well, and we all are always thinking in the future. This kind of brings you back around to
or the past, right?
a lot of time in the
Exactly.
past. But
Yeah,
move forward, you have to be in the present, not the future.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
Great message. Well, what a great episode we had today.
absolutely.
I hope
Yes.
you
Thank you,
enjoyed
Tom.
it as much as I did. It was a little bit different take, and we
Hmm.
had some great conversation along the way.
Yeah.
We
Me
encourage
too.
everyone to give us their comments about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just had an example of how Tom and I interact day to day when we talk to each other.
We do. And sometimes when we're having lunch, these conversations go way around the axle, and both enjoy that actually quite a bit.
Exactly. Welcome to our world.
Welcome to our world. Run away now if you're worried at all.
Yes, exactly.
So we'd like to thank you for tuning in with us today. And if you've enjoyed this, please do smash the like button. And if you are not already, you could subscribe. That will help our channel. And also, you can set your notifications to all, and then you'll always find out when we get a new episode published. And lastly, if you have a friend that would benefit from this, you can use the share feature. And I just said lastly, but there's more. Also, if you'd like to get a hold of either of us, you can reach us through email at ourspiritualsojourn@gmail.com. And we'll get the message. It can be to either one of us, and we will respond. We'd love it if you put comments and future questions out underneath this video. And we always see the comments, and we will respond to them. And also, we would just love to know what you'd like to hear about for future shows. So we thank you for that if you can help us in that area. And with that, Laurie, any final words?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Okay.
Great
Thanks,
episode.
everyone. Thanks. We'll see you next time. I hate it when
What?
I'm this difficult. I hate it when I'm being this difficult.
Well,